Welcome to a discussion this afternoon of the air-water energy markets. This is an umbrella service which includes the total $345 billion market for air-water energy products in related most profitable areas. Now, the McIlvaine Company provides very detailed forecasts, millions of them, in all these niche areas. But the opportunity to acquire and merge with companies, to expand organically, to collaborate with companies, and to set your R&D and long-range planning, it's quite important to understand the larger market and how the market that you're serving plays into that larger market. So our air water energy market report does that. So let's just take a look here at what we're providing on a continuous basis. It includes a newsletter, water energy management newsletter that comes out every month, and the one this month is about 20 pages long. And then we have all these continually updated market reports. So this is the one that gives a total market, and let's just take a look at that. You can see here that the market is about $345 billion if the suppliers can boost their EBITDA, and we have a program to help them boost their EBITDA to that level, at the same time reducing the cost of ownership for the clients. Now, this market includes the flow, biological and chemical treatment, liquid treatment, air and stack gas treatment, and that is around $307 billion. But there's a $754 billion market, which is a broader market, but not the most profitable. And then that breaks down, for instance, you can see here pumps, valves, guide, control, measure in the flow areas. Then it breaks into biological, chemical. And in terms of the liquid filtration, you've got cross-flow membranes, sedimentation, macrofiltration, cartridges. All these are very distinct areas, and many of them, almost all of them, have separate divisions, if not companies, dealing in each one of these segments. And then here's the stack gas as well. So this gives you an overview there. And let's move on then to the most profitable market approach. And what we're saying here is that the most profitable market is developing these niches. And I'm just going to skim through this, but I think you get an idea that the revenues can be organized around the total markets and around 550 major companies, and then about 10,000 smaller companies. So this gives you a way to skim that. There are a number of aspects here which I think are important as to what we're doing, and one of them is to identify all the suppliers. So when you click on 3M, for instance, here, which is one of 20 or 30,000 companies in here, you can click on any kind of a company that's a division within 3M, and they all have different products. Here would be just a couple, and then here is another 3M group that's got a reverse osmosis because it's and got all these different, or the parent company, and then the individual divisions are actually more limited. But we have this information on many different companies, and it's also organized so that there is a unique numerical identifier for every one of these companies, including those in Chinese, where the names can definitely be confusing. This kind of gives you the overview, then we get into the specific products. So we would be looking at air filters, for instance, as a product, and all the different ramifications of the different efficiencies of air filters and what markets are, and this and suppliers and so forth here. We can then move on to cartridges as an example here. And the cartridge market is explained here. Now we have a complete report with hundreds of thousands of cartridge forecasts, but this kind of summarizes everything, shows you how big the market is worldwide in every industry and what the growth rates are. And this is why you have this umbrella feature here. We get into each of the other areas. As you can see here, we get into IIoT. And basically in IIoT, we are covering the guide, control, and measure. And let's just do this for pumps, for instance. And for pumps IIoT and measure, you have the potential to greatly increase the pump revenues. If you're selling pumps but not selling the IIoT or wisdom to go along with it, you're missing out on an opportunity. So the high performance pumps with the smart intelligence can increase the total market from 80 billion and add another 45 billion in revenues. So one way or another, the digital processing is moving forward, and the pump manufacturers have the opportunity to capture a slice of that market and not leave that to others. We go into each one of the products here, but then we also get into the industries. So for instance, here's the food and beverage industry. And again, we're taking the overview here as to how big this market is. And first of all, we look at how much of it is air, water, and energy compared to extruding, and coating, and grading, and peeling, and some of these other things. And the air, water, energy products are shown here and the percentage of the total. And then we look at the very detailed aspects of it. For instance, beverages, we look at the total world market for the sale or the revenues from beverages and what percentage of it is air, water, and energy products. And so for beer, it's a pretty high number. For some of these others, like still drinks, it's not very high. But starting out with how big the revenues for the product is a good approach to provide some additional iteration or intelligence as to how this market plays out. And there are a lot of interesting things going on in that, like homogenization, for instance, in both food and beverage and in pharmaceuticals, which is a way pumps and valves and mixers are being used to make better tasting and better feeling products. So this is an important development. We get into each one of these industries, and we're into hydrogen and things like that with the in the power industry. The bioenergy and carbon capture is an important new opportunity, and because it's carbon negative, we believe that it's going to really change the whole program to address climate change, and the Drax plant in UK is leading the way. But again, it's other than direct air separation, which is very expensive, the BECCS is the one way to really have carbon negative systems. So these are the trends that we're picking up that are helpful, certainly for any of the products. So we go through all these different areas here, and this is done on a continuing basis. And then we do have the monthly newsletter, which provides the updates and developments. And we are continually updating the report itself. So it's a fairly ambitious undertaking, but it does provide the current insights as well as the in-depth analysis of the existing market. And I'd like to thank you for spending some time on this afternoon. This is Bob McElvain. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. And you can reach me at 847-226-2391. And you can see the email address and phone number here on the left-hand side. So again, thanks, and I look forward to talking to you.